Hi, this is
Hi,
the
everyone.
July 5th. Hey, this is the July 5th Jupyter Dev meeting. I'll let you know what we've been up to. I've been working with Brian and Fernando on updating the GitHub repos. So we've created a new org called Jupyter Attic, and we're moving some of the older content over to Jupyter Attic, deprecating some repos that are no longer in use. So you guys might see some changes in there.
And by the way, what we've moved there was based on triage that Jamie and Brian and I did of all the repos. But if anyone sees a repo that we missed and that is a good candidate for moving, let's just do that and let us know and we can move them to the attic. That way, the repos, along with issues and wiki and anything that they might have attached, continues to be available. But it will help clear some of the brush from the main orgs, which were getting already too busy. And since GitHub has no way of organizing repos within an org or folders or labels or anything like that, just making a different org to get stuff out of the way was the best we could do. So let us know. In particular, Steve and you guys, if as the consolidation of Jupyter Lab continues, if there's some other minor repos that you had created early on that you feel are worth getting out of the way for everyday work, that we may have missed, please let us know and we can move them quickly. Nothing is lost, but they get out of the way. Anything else, Jamie, from your side that you want to bring to people's attention?
So I'm participating in a panel later on this week. It's the Bioinformatics Open Source Conference in Florida. So we'll be talking about open source teams in bioinformatics. So Jupyter, of course, is used in the bioinformatics realm. So I'll be on this panel with a couple other folks working in the field. And then at SciPy next week.
Okay, Min, you're next. Is there anything that you want to discuss with the team?
So I've been.
You've had a crazy,
I haven't gotten a whole lot.
whirlwind.
I haven't gotten a whole lot done this month because of being in a variety of countries, teaching and meetings and grant meetings and all kinds of stuff. And this week I'm just focusing on the tutorial I'm doing with Matt Rocklin and Ben Zeitlin at SciPy, and the NBDime presentation. I'm working on polishing that with Vidar, postdoc here, who's doing most of the work on NBDime right now.
So can you remind us? I thought the name of the person who was working mostly on NBDime was Martin. Did that change a little bit, or was I mistaken?
Yeah. So Martin's the lead. He's on leave
okay.
Until August, and then the Open Dream Kit postdoc is Vidar, and he's doing most of the work right now. Okay. The EU grant.
Okay, got it. I'm wondering if it might be worth at some point for you or Vidar or Martin or any combination thereof to give us a bit of a broader update on NBDime and how that's going, just for the team to kind of be aware. It seems like it's getting to the point where we might want to get a little bit more plugged in. I honestly have been watching it only from the bare periphery of my visual field, but it's probably
we're
to the
just
point where it's.
Yeah, it absolutely. I mean, we did the whole proposal process, and we were working in the repo and everything. And Vidar's been doing some experiments on his own. He's going to be making some pull requests this week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming along, and I'll be talking about it at SciPy next week too. So.
Oh, great.
Okay. So is that going to be as part of a regular recorded talk?
Yeah, like it's just a regular talk about
regular talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's good because those get recorded and they're pretty good about posting them promptly. So I'll make sure to watch it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm still with the presentation and stuff, still not getting a lot of regular development work done this week, but by the end of SciPy, hopefully I'll have most of that stuff cleared up and be back to Jupyter stuff mostly.
Okay. Steve, anything that you want to discuss with the team, that you want to help with, that you want to bring to our attention?
Just the hair pulling effort to clean up third-party extensions. It was so that you don't have to be in one Webpack bundle. And this I think we're almost there, and I think the same pattern will apply nicely to the classic notebook, where we're having issues of things that are part of a Webpack bundle but not requirable by require.js. So you have this impedance mismatch. So I think we're converging on a solution that will work for both Jupyter Lab and the classic notebook.
Great. So that's that PR 225 that you point to.
Yes, and the other ones that it also points to. So getting there.
Is your, just so that I understand a little bit better, are you thinking that you're going to kind of kick the tires for this model in Jupyter Lab itself for a little bit, and then if it works out, if indeed it solves the problem, backport the code itself is not going to apply verbatim to the main notebook, but the idea would be to kind of backport the pattern.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Okay. Let us know how that goes, because I know that has proven to be a recent thorn on everyone's side on the main notebook side. And so if this is a solution, that would be delightful. Daria, anything you want to bring up to the team's attention, or that you need help with, or that you want us to have a look at?
Yes. So I'd like to request again to get an icon for the console, so that we could put it on that launch page. Although it might be something that the Cal Poly folks have been working on and I've missed, but I didn't see any movement on the issue that I posted, and I really would like to get that in before SciPy. The other is that I just finished up a really big completion widget update, and so I'd like people to play around with it and see how it feels. I consciously made some decisions that are slightly different than what the prompt toolkit does, with the understanding that the prompt toolkit code is also basically brand new, so we're forging out best behavior in both cases. So, for example, when you hit when you've opened up a completion, you've hit tab to open it. If you hit tab again in the prompt toolkit version, it actually cycles through. In the Jupyter Lab version, it does what the current notebook does, which is if there's a matching initial substring for all the values that are there, so say it's like AB, ABC, ABCD, they all have the beginning letter AB, then it fills that in for you as though you typed that in, and then if you hit it again, whichever value is currently highlighted is picked. It's like you hit enter on it, which is more like, I think, what most graphical tools do, but not what the prompt toolkit version does. And I find that the cycling behavior of the prompt toolkit version actually sort of counterintuitive. There's a few other things. There's a bunch of behavioral changes that hopefully you won't even notice because they'll feel right. And there's some other things just to sort of make it more solid. I couldn't find a way to break it anymore. If you find one, please let me know. So yeah, those are the two things I have. And that's it for me.
Okay. Yeah, we should probably now for some of these things. I've been picking at the behavior of the prompt toolkit completer in the areas where there was precedent. I've tried to really make sure that for things where there was established muscle memory burnt into people's brains from 15 years of readline-based completion, that we would follow as closely as reasonable, because I didn't want to break those patterns. But there are new things that prompt toolkit does that are genuinely impossible in readline. So that's kind of greenfield. And for things that are greenfield, then now is the time to match as much as possible between the notebook and prompt toolkit. And so this particular one of tab as cycling, I actually don't mind what prompt toolkit does, but if it's different from the existing notebook, we might as well consider that to be kind of the closest analog to tradition that we have, since that didn't exist in readline, because you just couldn't do that, right? Readline, once it completed the longest unambiguous sequence, then that's it. Readline would just stop and you keep hitting tab. It kept printing the completions because it's the only thing it could do. So at that point, we probably should match what the notebook was doing, which is the closest. I mean, that one has 4 years of history. And so we should probably use that to establish common behavior.
It's also a question of API. The completer API we have in IPython make it really hard for now to do that at the command line, because Jedi that we cannot use for 5.0, we can do something like that because we have actual range of where you replace completion. It's kind of a mess right now, and we plan to clean it for 6.0.
Just so that I understand, you're saying it's not possible to change tab from cycling to tab being effectively enter?
It's not enter, it's completing to the common longest subsequence or subprefix, which is weird because of things like magics. Like if you type mat tab, you want matplotlib, but you actually have in completion, you have percent matplotlib and matplotlib. So if we use the dumb things of prompt toolkit, which is common subprefix, mat tab would just complete to nothing. Because you have to...
I think the current prompt toolkit behavior is once you initiate tab completion, it will automatically fill in the common subprefix. The Notebook and the Jupyter Lab versions do not do that. The Notebook and Jupyter Lab versions, you have to hit tab one more time, and that was the behavior that was already in Notebook, which is why I did it that way with Jupyter Lab. But Prompt Toolkit does that automatically. Prompt Toolkit is basically like a greedy regex, and the Jupyter Lab and the current Notebook versions are more, they require you to ask for that to happen.
Yes, and it's if there is a common prefix, but if we cannot force it on tab, because otherwise we will have side effects that are undesirable. So it's basically an edge case between prompt toolkit is recent and IPython completion is old, and we cannot really match that at the command line. We are planning to do it to have something better. And the other thing that we want to do is on the completion. I mean, we can respond that in a specific thread, a specific meeting later. The completion in prompt toolkit also allow you for each completion to have a side like information. So this is a method, this is a function, this is an attribute, and we want to use that with Jedi, but there are bugs in the 3 implementation, like our completer, the Jedi one, and prompt toolkit, and it's basically the best thing we can do now.
Yeah, let's pull this one out into a separate thread, and maybe Matthias, Daria, and I can spend some time on this because we're kind of in the critical path of this question, and we can do that in a separate thread because this is a rabbit hole where we could spend an hour right now. Darian, we can maybe on Gator we can try to schedule if later now or tomorrow or whenever is a good time to chat.
Okay, sounds good.
Anything else, Darian?
No, that's it for me.
Peter, do you have anything that you want to bring to the team's attention or that you want help with? Or?
No, nothing other than whatever in there. Min's been helpful reviewing this PR for the proposed notebook bundling mini framework. I don't know what else to call it, which has been progressing pretty well. I'm up to writing documentation for it, but if anyone else would like to chime in or has cycles, feedback welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Matthias,
I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, anything that you want of this that you want feedback or etc.
No, I can quickly go for people who listen to the video. So I'm currently writing the release announcement for IPython 5.0 RC1. I just released Jupyter Console like half an hour ago. Getting ready for SciPy. We now have Mike, who is working with us at UC Berkeley half-time. I'm slowly getting him up to speed. He did the release of IPython 4.2.1. And it's really good to have someone which is brand new to the project. He brings a lot of nice, fresh view on the documentation, things that need to be updated, that are not clear on the documentation and projects side. Though it's hard with Mike to not get sidetracked, and to stay focused. You'll have a chance to interact with him, and he should write an introduction soon enough. Jamie and I got a talk at PyBay at the end of August. If you want to come to see us and how Jupyter is working, come to PyBay. There is still a few early bird tickets available. It's in SF, of course. The name is obvious. And I would ask if some people have. Every now and then I'm getting bottlenecked because I'm the only one late afternoon to work on that. So I'm getting, basically I have to self-merge my pull request, which I don't like to do. It would be nice, especially since Min and Thomas are super busy with the last few weeks. They were traveling and they had a lot of things to catch up with. It would be great. And that's about it.
Okay. Well, I'd add that also do ping me on those PRs. And I know that I'm not always as responsive as I should be because my schedule tends to be horrible, but I'll do my best. But if do ping me on PRs, especially on the IPython ones, I can definitely put cycles into that as I've been trying to do with some of the recent stuff. Well, the only thing that I want to bring to the team's attention is I'm wondering if we want to, and this is just an idea for people to think about, to rethink the meeting model. In the sense that we keep trying to find kind of ways of making this time productive for everyone. One of the ideas has been basically to say, let's just write down on the notes and not read from the notes, but just bring to people's attention what you want discussion, and for the rest we can just leave the hack at the end. People can read online if they're really interested. But I'm wondering if it might be as the team grows larger and the project grows larger, if it might be more valuable to switch a little bit models rather than everyone even bringing individual things, to doing a less frequent all hands, maybe once every 2 or 4 weeks. We could start with 2 and see if even that is too frequent, and making it be more summaries per area. So as we're trying to organize a little bit more of teams by area work, and Brian, Jamie, and I have been iterating on that, and we'll try to blast out in the soon kind of a plan for how to structure those teams. If it might be more productive for these to be effectively short summaries of recent developments in each area, where one team brings that to people's attention, and then we leave a few minutes in case anybody does want to bring things individually to the group. And in that sense, it might be potentially a more valuable way to have these meetings. I'm trying to balance kind of how we surface information that is relevant to everyone in the project versus the more day-to-day individual work that those teams can be doing. So I don't know. We keep trying. I'm really sensitive to making sure that this time is effective and valuable for everyone involved. And so this is just an idea. I'm not saying we have to do it. I wanted to put it on people's minds, and we can think about it over the next couple of weeks.
Let's try.
Any thoughts on that right now?
Yeah, I think that seems reasonable. Something with the fewer of these more in-writing updates and less kind of smaller blocks or bigger blocks of a smaller number of bigger chunks of things, I think makes sense.
And things that could even include like a short demo of doing more of, oh, this team has been working on this for the last few weeks, and here's a 3-5-minute demo. Very informal. Nobody has to prepare a presentation or anything, but it could be like, yeah, let me screen share with you, and this is what we've been up to, highlighting progress on all the main areas, and some of the more day-to-day stuff can and will happen in the separate sub-threads that subgroups keep carrying on. I think we're getting to a size where that may be a better model, but anyway, let's think about it for a few days, and we'll see where we end up. Nick, anything you want to discuss?
Nope, just we're moving full speed on Jupyter Day Atlanta, and we've started getting some feedback from folks there. Doing a GitHub form, or rather a Google form, as well as a GitHub repo, and looking forward to having that be a reproducible pattern for doing the open Jupyter days in the future. That's about it.
Great. Well, just for the record, for anyone listening, that'll be August 13th in Atlanta. So those of you who may be in the area or may have friends in the vicinity, let them know that August 13th in Atlanta, they will be hosting this event, and so people can attend. Hopefully it'll be a success. Thanks so much. Son, I think you're last in line. Do you want to, anything you want to flag for the group?
I don't think Jason's on the call.
Okay, then
Yep,
we can just.
He said he'd be joining late, so I'm not sure how late that is.
Okay, well, we may be over, but he left his notes, and I think we don't need to do note reading out loud. We don't need to do that. So.
Yeah, I did want to. I see Anna is not on the call, but I do want to just remind people who are going to SciPy that we'll have a dinner on Tuesday night at a Mexican restaurant nearby, near the hotel. So we'll send information about that later this week. So we have a good group.
We should probably, by the way, just now that we're here, say that we should skip next week's meeting. So many people are at SciPy that there's no point in even trying. You guys will have a chance. Those of you who make it to SciPy will have a chance to see each other a lot. And I hope you don't forget that some of us aren't going to make it, and we're sad about that, and we still exist, and we'll miss you. Yeah. But have fun, have a very productive SciPy. SciPy is kind of, I think of it as our home conference, and so I'm sure the project will be well represented with all of you guys. So have fun.
Thanks.
Alrighty, no need to make these drag any longer than necessary in the spirit of being respectful of people's times. Let's call it a day, I think.
All right.
Daria and Matthias, do you guys want to stay on for a second, and we can geek out on if Jamie, if you could close, when you close the meeting, just don't kick us out.
Yep, no problem. Okay.
And anybody who's interested in